Hello friends, colleagues. This is Module 6 for EDL 350 School Law, Internet Safety Policies. And I will be talking about the safety policies of the school district in which I work, which is the Department of Defense Education Activities School District here in Korea. Now, again, this is one of the three school districts, which is Dodia Pacific, and specifically it's in Korea. And as you can see on the peninsula of Korea, there's quite a few schools that are overseen by Dodia Pacific. And we are addressing how Dodia Pacific deals with and complies with both COPPA, which is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule, and also CIPA. Now, I breezed through these because the first 3 times I did this video, I read through all of the regulations, but to make this video not so lengthy, I decided not to read through these because we're all having to deal with these regulations, and we all have had to read through the requirements of the regulations, so I won't read through these to save some time. So I'll skip past this part, but I'll get to what Dodia's internet policy is. Now, Dodia, which is the Department of Defense Education Activity, is actually one of two federal school districts and they have 3 school districts, meaning there's Dodia America, there's Dodia Europe, and there's Dodia Pacific, and they cover the schools that serve for the military bases and the military communities and the foreign service communities outside of the United States and also within the United States. The policy here is written, and basically the bottom line is that with this policy is saying that all the parents of all school districts, the parents of all students in all school districts will comply with the policy as presented from K through 9 that covers land usage, internet, and any type of electronic mail. The policy can actually be found at the link inside of this video, which you'll see down below. Also, the parents must sign a very comprehensive document relating to email usage, and the bottom line with that document is that the parent says that they understand that depending on the age of their child may or may not be given email accounts, and that they will have to comply with both COPPA and CIPA, and that the school is complying with COPPA and CIPA in terms of usage of electronic resources. So I included this one slide here just to let folks know that Dodia is very responsive to requirements of the government in terms of cybersecurity, and there had been a huge cybersecurity breach back in 2015 where the information of millions of government workers was compromised, and the government put quite a few measures in place to respond to this, including providing free credit reporting capability. Dodia reported that to all of their constituents, and then think they would be just as responsive if something were to happen to the safety of the internet access for children and protections of their identity. So my assessment of Dodia policies is as follows: that Dodia policies are very in tune with COPPA and CIPA. They are very, very protective of the identities of children. They restrict networks to specific networks so that the children will not be necessarily using the public access email service such as Yahoo or Gmail. They have very defined networks that the children would be using. DoD must also comply with the requirements of the Department of Defense in terms of information security. Department of Defense is under siege at all times by entities trying to compromise the networks, and any operator within the Department of Defense realm of responsibility has to also comply with the monitoring and filtering and firewall requirements of their networks. DoD does that as well. Filtering and monitoring, as I mentioned, is really, really stringent. It's amazing how stringent it can be at times. The regular sites that people might access on a regular basis may suddenly find themselves compromised and unavailable because there may have been some type of activity that happened. For instance, a banking site may have been available to users at one point, but are no longer available because there were some suspicious activities associated with that type of bank. These are the type of things that we're all dealing with, working within these illegal environments. And DoDEA, again, is additionally required to comply with DoD standards. Also, excuse me for this pop-up, child protections on military installations is very strong, not just in terms of cyber activity, but physically in terms of police protection, continued investigation, and as well as online. So any suspicious activities that occur online either originate with a child or with a parent or with any other entity is investigated swiftly. And also the confidence and child protections are very strong. So I think that overall DoDEA does a fantastic job complying with COPPA and SIPA, and I think that what they do is very, very stringent and is very protective. So I thank you for listening, and have a good day.